Daniel Dubois doesn't just win, he destroys. With bone-crushing power in both fists and the cold, silent focus of a natural-born finisher, he's made a habit of turning confident contenders into cautionary tales. And when he dropped Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium, under the lights in front of stunned, roaring crowd, the world finally realized this wasn't hype. This was heavyweight chaos, unfiltered and undeniable. Every punch he throws feels personal. His jab, a warning. His right hand, a reckoning. And when Dubois steps into the ring, you don't just expect violence, you brace for it. With 21 knockouts and 22 victories and a fortune now rising alongside his legacy, Dubois isn't chasing greatness. He's demanding the world pay attention. And before we dive deeper into the explosive rise of boxing's most dangerous young star, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell, because what's coming next isn't just a boxing story. It's a warning to the entire heavyweight division. Born on September 6, 1997, in the unforgiving streets of South London, his story didn't begin with dreams of belts or global acclaim. It began with a father, simply trying to steer his 9-year-old son away from trouble. That small decision would become the spark that lit the fuse. The beginning of a journey that would shake boxing's most iconic division to its core. As of 2025, he is worth between around $5 million. A fortune built with fists, forged through championship belts, stacked fight purses, and the kind of endorsements reserved for warriors who transcend the sport. Standing at 6 feet 5 inches tall with a reach of 78 inches, he was born with the frame of a heavyweight. But it was what lived inside that frame that separated him. Power. Raw, thunderous, terrifying power. The kind that earned him the name Dynamite. And it was in a gritty corner of East London, the Peacock Gym in Canning Town, that power was shaped. Under the watchful eyes of Tony and Martin Bowers, Dubois wasn't just learning how to fight. He was being molded, focused, refined. In the amateurs, his path was already clear. Around 75 fights, 2 English schoolboy titles, 2 junior ABAs, the CYPs, the British seniors. Each step was another brick in the foundation of a future world champion. Representing England, he took his talents global, competing in the European Youth Championships, claiming gold in tournaments across Finland and Germany. By the time Dubois earned a spot on Team GB, with the Tokyo 2020 Olympics on the horizon, the whispers had started. Who is this kid from South London with dynamite in his fists? But Daniel had already made up his mind. He wasn't going to wait. Olympic medals could come later. He had professional greatness in his sights. With fearless confidence and the hunger of a born fighter, he walked away from the amateur stage and signed with legendary promoter Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotions. And in April 2017, he made his professional debut. It didn't last long. 35 seconds. That's all it took to demolish Marcus Kelly. It wasn't a fight. It was a statement. A warning shot to the entire heavyweight division. They're the new name on the board, and he's not here to play. By his 4th pro fight, he already had gold around his waist, knocking out Mauricio Barragan in just 2 rounds to claim the vacant WBC Youth Heavyweight Championship. And momentum didn't stop there. In October 2017, he took out AJ Carter in the 1st round to capture the Southern Area Heavyweight title. In June 2018, Tom Little fell in the 5th, handing Dubois the English heavyweight crown. And in March 2019, he blasted out Razvan Kojanu in 2 to claim the WBO European title. Fight after fight, belt after belt, Dubois wasn't just climbing the ranks. He was bulldozing through them. In July 2019, he knocked out the previously unbeaten Nathan Gorman in 5 rounds to claim the vacant British heavyweight title, improving his record to a perfect 12-0 with 11 knockouts. The boxing media, typically cautious with their praise of young fighters, couldn't contain their enthusiasm. Steve Bunce, the respected boxing journalist, observed that Dubois fought like an old, seasoned bruiser, his feet flawless, his jab a stiff weapon inherited from relics of the ring. BBC's boxing correspondent Mike Costello went further, declaring him one of the brightest prospects in the sport at the moment. The heavyweight division had found its next great hope. Dubois continued his meteoric rise, blasting out Ebenezer Teta in the first round and demolishing Japan's Kyotaro Fujimoto with a highlight reel knockout in the second round. By August 2020, his record stood at an imposing 15-0 with 14 knockouts after another dominant first-round victory over Ricardo Snitters. The boxing world was beginning to wonder not if, but when Dubois would challenge for a world title. But boxing, perhaps more than any other sport, has a way of humbling even its most promising stars. For Dubois, that moment came in November 2020 against fellow unbeaten British heavyweight Joe Joyce. The fight had been rescheduled 3 times due to the pandemic, building anticipation to fever pitch. What unfolded was a brutal education in the harsh realities of boxing's upper echelons. In a closely contested battle, Joyce's repeated accurate jabs began causing significant swelling to Dubois's left eye. As the rounds progressed, the damage worsened. By the 10th round, with his eye swollen shut, Dubois took a knee after another punishing jab and was counted out. The first defeat of his professional career had come in front of a national television audience in a fight with significant world title implications. The boxing world can be cruel in its judgment. Claims that Dubois had quit came from fellow boxers and pundits alike, questioning not just his ability, but his heart, the ultimate insult in a sport built on courage. What many didn't know or failed to acknowledge was that Dubois had suffered a broken left orbital bone and nerve damage, injuries that could have permanently affected his vision and ended his career had he continued. 6 months of recovery followed, not just for his body, but for his spirit. In that time, he made significant changes, splitting with longtime trainer Martin Bowers and eventually partnering with respected coach Shane McGuigan. These months away from the spotlight would prove crucial in the reconstruction of both fighter and man. When Dubois returned to the ring in June 2021, it was with renewed purpose and determination. He knocked out Bogdan Inoue in the second round to claim the WBA interim heavyweight title, proving that his power remained intact. The path back to the top had begun, and Dubois was climbing with the same relentless drive that had characterized his initial rise. His American debut followed in August 2021 on the undercard of Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley. Despite taking some punishment early, Dubois fought through adversity to score 3 knockdowns against Joe Cusimano for a first-round TKO victory. The boxing world was on notice. Dynamite, Dubois was back, and the setback against Joyce had only made him more dangerous. In June 2022, opportunity knocked when he challenged Trevor Bryan for the WBA regular heavyweight championship in Miami. After a cautious start, Dubois found his range in the 4th round, dropping Bryan with a devastating left-right combination that left the champion face down on the canvas. The victory made him the WBA regular heavyweight champion and a mandatory challenger to unified champion Alexander Usyk. His first title defense in December 2022 against South Africa's Kevin Lerena revealed both vulnerability and heart. After being knocked down 3 times in the first round, a shocking turn of events that had the boxing world on the edge of their seats, Dubois showed the resilience of a true champion. He rallied back, dropping Lerena with a massive right hand in the 3rd round and securing a TKO victory. His mettle had been tested and not found wanting. The biggest fight of his career came in August 2023 when he challenged unified heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk in Poland. Despite losing by a 9th-round stoppage, controversy surrounded the fight when a punch from Dubois in the 5th round was ruled a low blow by referee Luis Pabon, giving Usyk nearly 4 minutes to recover. Many observers believed it was a legal punch that could have resulted in a knockout victory for Dubois. Though defeated, his stock had risen in the eyes of many, and the controversy ensured his name remained in the heavyweight title conversation. Undeterred by the setback, he closed out 2023 with an impressive 10th-round stoppage of the much heavier Jarrell Miller in Saudi Arabia, landing a career-high 208 punches. This victory restored whatever confidence might have been shaken by the Usyk defeat and positioned him for what would prove to be his defining year. In June 2024, Dubois faced the highly regarded Filip Hrgovic for the IBF interim heavyweight title. In what many considered his most complete performance to date, Dubois gradually took control of the fight, before forcing a doctor's stoppage in the 8th round due to cuts on Hrgovic's face. When Usyk vacated the full IBF title shortly thereafter, he was elevated to full champion and immediately set for the biggest challenge of his career, a defense against former two-time unified champion Anthony Joshua at London's iconic Wembley Stadium. Few gave Dubois a chance against the heavily favored Joshua. The betting odds, the boxing experts, and conventional wisdom all pointed to an Anthony Joshua victory. But from the opening bell on that September night in 2024, Dubois tore up the script. He seized control immediately, shocking the capacity crowd by knocking Joshua down in the first round with a massive overhand right to the chin. It was a punch that seemed to announce that this wasn't the same Daniel Dubois who had taken a knee against Joyce 4 years earlier. Joshua, to his credit, beat the count, but the pattern was set. Dubois continued his assault, dropping the former champion multiple times over the next few rounds. In the 5th round, as Joshua attempted to mount a comeback and seemed to force Dubois into a corner, Dynamite lived up to his nickname. He caught Joshua with a perfectly timed counter right hand as the former champion attempted an uppercut, sending him sprawling to the canvas one final time, unable to beat the count. Standing victorious in boxing's most hallowed arena, Dubois turned to the shocked crowd and channeled his inner gladiator. "Are you not entertained?" The boy who started boxing to stay out of trouble had become the man at the pinnacle of the sport's most glamorous division, with his knockout power and resilient spirit winning him not just titles, but the respect and admiration of the boxing world. Today, as the IBF heavyweight champion, with an impressive professional record of 22 wins, 21 by knockout, against just 2 defeats, he stands as one of boxing's most exciting and formidable figures. But beyond the titles and the financial rewards, it's Dubois' journey that resonates. A testament to resilience in a sport that demands it like no other. For Dubois, the journey continues, with each fight another chapter in the story of a man determined to leave behind not just a collection of titles, but a lasting legacy in the sport he has come to define. Outside the ring, he remains somewhat of a mystery, a quiet storm who lets his fists do the talking. In an era where many athletes live out loud on social media, constantly broadcasting their every move, Dubois stands apart. He prefers solitude over spotlights, the silence of early morning workouts over the noise of public attention. Reserved and private, he's carved out a life that allows him to focus solely on his craft. He isn't married, has no children, and from all accounts, remains entirely committed to boxing, a man on a mission, fueled by discipline and an unshakable sense of purpose. That laser-sharp focus didn't just appear overnight. It was shaped by a family rooted in strength and resilience. Dubois' father, originally from Grenada, instilled in him the values of hard work, humility, and quiet confidence. Those same values run through his younger sister, Caroline Dubois, who is proving herself to be one of Britain's brightest young boxing talents. Representing Great Britain on the international stage, Caroline dominated in 2018, capturing titles at the European Junior, World Youth, and Youth Olympic Championships in the -60 kilograms category. With talent like that running through the bloodline, it's clear the Dubois family isn't just passionate about boxing. They're built for it. Despite his reserved nature, his lifestyle offers a glimpse into the rewards of his relentless grind. He leads what he refers to as a gladiator life, structured, disciplined, and designed to keep him at peak performance. His days revolve around intense training sessions, meticulous recovery routines, and a mental toughness honed by years of repetition and sacrifice. He rarely strays from this path, knowing full well that greatness demands nothing less than total commitment. But make no mistake, his success has brought luxuries. In Essex, England, he resides in a stunning 7-bedroom property that blends comfort with functionality. The house isn't just a home, it's a sanctuary. It features a state-of-the-art gym where he fine-tunes his physique, a jacuzzi and outdoor swimming pool for recovery and relaxation, and plenty of space for family and close friends. It's a place where he can retreat from the chaos of the world and recharge, mentally and physically. When it comes to his possessions, Dubois is not one for excessive flash, but he has a refined taste for style and performance. His car collection may be modest by celebrity standards, but it's no less impressive. He owns a sleek 2023 Mercedes-Benz 220D AMG, a vehicle known for its balance of power and precision, and a Bentley GTC convertible, an elegant symbol of status and strength, much like the man himself. Financially, Dubois has built a strong foundation for his future. His estimated net worth stems not only from his fight purses, but also from endorsements with globally recognized brands like Adidas and Boxstraw. These partnerships don't just reflect his success. They show the respect he commands in both athletic and commercial spaces. While there's little public information about business ventures or philanthropy, it's possible that, in keeping with his private nature, any such efforts are done quietly, behind the scenes, without fanfare or headlines. Still young and already a world champion, his story is far from finished. As he enters the prime years of his career, he continues to walk his own path, one defined by solitude, strength, and an unwavering belief in the grind. He may not seek the spotlight outside the ring, but inside it, he shines, proving that sometimes the most powerful presence is the one that speaks with action, not words. Before you go, don't miss out on exclusive perks. Click the link in the description to become a channel member and enjoy awesome benefits, like suggesting future video topics, getting early access to new content 48 hours before anyone else, and much more. Your support means the world and helps us keep bringing you the stories you love. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more amazing content. And while you're here, why not check out our deep dive into Marvin Hagler's video? Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.